isn't it? Gonna have a little dude cast on health today. I don't know who all that applies to, but should apply to everybody, really. I think I might need to start changing up the times that I host these events. I don't know. What do you guys think? Need to wait for more people to show up. Thanks, prawns. Oh, lore keeper in the house. Hope everybody had a good weekend.
Hi, John.
What's going on, Frank?
Been a while.
Been
Well, I actually have a conference to go, I'm just going to. But I don't really have to speak over there, so I'll just sort of listen to both sides while I'm at it.
yeah. I really can't do that all too well. I tend to fixate on one or the other, but yeah, I think it was a good one today. Going to be about health, overall, all the pillars and aspects of it. So
Well, you're the speaker. My son wants to say hello. Say hello. Hello.
hello, glad to have you on the stage today.
Well, that's him playing around. So, what's the topic today?
Health.
Health.
All the pillars of health. Just a brief tip
Oh, the
of the
pillars of
iceberg.
health.
Yeah, tip of the
Okay.
iceberg run through of all the different things that we really should be engaging in to stay healthy and really get the most out of life, from
Oh,
my
wow.
point of view. So
But my wife would love to listen to that.
I don't know if I'm an expert on that. I try to be.
Well, you're becoming one, I'm sure of that. Are you still running every day?
Yeah, I got really sick last week. I'm still coming out of it. I just cleaned out my sinuses and everything a minute ago. I think I should be good for the whole podcast.
Oh,
But yeah, I still am doing something every day.
really?
I've really gotten more into yoga and stretching.
No.
Because I had a really bad knee injury when I was younger, and so I was kind of overwhelming my what I was doing, which I have been running many miles. I'm pretty proud of what I've accomplished here lately, but
Wow.
yeah, I needed to tone it down just a little bit. Um,
I
but
torn my cruciate ligament when I was younger playing soccer. Well, I hope
Mhm.
that doesn't bite me back in the ass after some more years. Mm.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't mind, I told my wife the other day, I was like, "I need to find, like, an adult soccer league and get back into that. Give me something to do, some people to drink with afterwards, you know?" Um, so but,
Uh,
uh but yeah, that's, you gotta start somewhere, just gotta start moving and doing something, it's not doesn't have to be reliving the good old, high school days or whatever. I did a lot of really ridiculous things when I was
oh,
in high
well,
school.
we'd love to
Thought
get
I was
a,
gonna be a X
I don't
Games
know,
superstar.
yes. We should spend one of the podcasts talking about these wild days.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I could easily fill that up. Um,
Oh, I'd love to see. I
uh,
forgot we share a lot of quite common characteristics over there. When we gonna
yeah,
do you usually do a small announcement to get everyone in?
yeah, give it just another minute. Few more listeners going on.
What's up?
Maybe
What's up?
talking.
What's up? Hot sauce.
What's up,
Ha
Shadow
ha ha
Cloud?
ha. How you doing, hot sauce?
I'm doing great. Do you do that for a living? Do you like radio?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, gonna say you should if you don't.
Thank you. That has always been my
Uh,
passion. You know,
yeah.
just love keeping it real always. How you doing, brother?
No, that's great, man. I'm doing much better. I would say well. I keep on feeling like every day I keep telling my wife I'm like I'm gonna feel better tomorrow, and then I wake up and I'm like, damn, I'm still not better. Like this sucks. Been getting a lot of crud out. So that's one of the things when you go on like a cleansing journey. Sometimes you're like just really cleansing a lot of gunk from your body that you didn't really realize that you were storing onto. Um, so usually when people have some bad habits that they go about changing, it's really difficult because to remove all the crap from the body, um, it usually makes you sick, so you're more susceptible to getting sick and whatnot. And there's so much sickness going on, like I have kids, and so anytime you send them around other kids, you're bound to have some sort of like new illness come into the house. And so I thought for this dude cast, it was really important just to talk about health and what is health and what does it mean to be healthy. And I do want to start off by saying that I am not licensed to give advice. This is just my personal experience and my observations. And while this is for entertainment purposes, you may find you want to look deeper into one area or another and find a new practice that really resonates with you. True health is a constant maintenance of self preservation that often requires boring choices to be made. We as a species have become smarter than our own good and have created terrible problems in food processing and screen time and social media wellness, and physical situation stressors. I did construction work for a number of years and did a lot of ridiculous things that I'm really happy to be alive. Uh, I just I put myself into some really bad situations at times, but physical and mental health is on the decline at a time when we should be so advanced that we've overcome the obstacles that we face. We're stuck in terrible job situations and terrible home situations. And there's a lot of struggle in today's society. There are even more who are on the brink of a decline but don't understand how they aren't prepared to maintain their current trajectory. So this isn't a topic that can actually be covered in a 1 hour segment, but maybe this will open the rabbit hole enough for someone to want to dive in and see where it takes them. There are truly many different ways you can break down the elements of total health, but I think they can be summed up as physical health, nutrition, mental wellness, social wellness, job security, and breathing. I don't believe there's a magical number of annual income, although in the U.S. It's supposedly $82,000 a year was the happiest um, income level. Like the people who made that amount were the happiest. But what does that actually even mean or equate to? We all live under different circumstances, different economic backgrounds, different access to food. We all grew up differently. When you hear that cancer, diabetes runs in the family, I hate to say it, but that is by and large actually just a choice. Eating and sleeping correctly, having positive and supportive engagement, having a spouse that you can actually just be yourself around, having a job that doesn't destroy your motivation, these are all keys to wellness. The most critical aspect of all of these things is time. Time is, after all, the only luxury we really do have. Breathing, an underlying factor inherent in our day to day that we take for granted. Today, we are bombarded by different environmental factors that affect the quality of our air. We aren't ever taught the effects of breathing in different ways. We aren't really concerned with what we can't see. But to be sure, breathing is one of the most effective health remedies on the planet. I'm young into my journey on breathing, and I will be sure to fill you in on helpful tips that I glean along the way. What is fascinating is that all the current breathing techniques have been passed down for thousands of years in some cases, but it has never been a popular enough idea to invade mainstream thought processes. Athletes understand breathing, musicians, yogis. There are many small groups of people that have different values of breathing, but so few of us actually give it any thought whatsoever. We believe that breathing is something that our subconscious handles, and that if we don't breathe, we die, and therefore we do breathe. But just like so many different factors in your life can have a low quality, breathing is the most neglected of all of them. Going on YouTube and finding a 10 or 15-minute breathing exercise can actually work wonders for you, and just doing that a few times a week can drastically improve the quality of life that you experience. If any of you have ever tried the Wim Hof method, and again, although what he has achieved through perfecting his techniques, these were certainly ideas that have been tested in various ways throughout centuries, but you will know that this method of breathing is very effective and very easy to grasp. These exercises are really more than 5 minutes, and the results are immediately evident, at least to me. So, why haven't we, as a vastly superior species, set out to understand breathing, a problem that no other species on the planet has an issue with unless you account for human derived pollution factors? Another element to wellness is time management. So, and I think an underlying root factor to people's relationships with all the different types of wellness factors is their relationship with time. I can remember a good period of my life where 3 hours or so per night was plenty to sustain my high levels of activity. I also know now that I need at least 6.5 to feel refreshed every morning when I wake up. So, much more importantly, though, how do you actually spend your time while you're awake? Um, the majority of society, myself included, starts up a car and is shifting out of park before the oil has had time to warm up and actually become effective. Your body needs a wake up period too. And when you begin your day, grab a glass of water, take a moment to visualize your day, prepare your mind and your body for what is foreseeable, and allow some room for what isn't foreseeable. This is an ideal time, in my opinion, to get in a stretch, an exercise, push-ups, yoga, meditation. Maybe you listen to music or want to spend 15 minutes drawing. Whatever it is, make sure you tap into yourself and set up your day for success. I know a lot of people want to claim that they simply don't have time or they're so exhausted that they don't have the willpower, energy to do that, and can only get out of bed in time to get ready for work and barely be on time every day. But this is actually just bullshit. Sorry, but if it has to be said, then it has to be said. You can choose to make time in the morning to start your day correctly. If you can't get a good night's sleep, then maybe you're starting from the wrong end of your day. I can't say that I'm the pinnacle of wellness in the time management category. I spent over a decade of my life waking up at 4 a.m. to commute to a job where I worked overtime, got home late, and had no time to spend with my family, much less myself. I was truly miserable working the grind well enough to earn a decent living through overtime to afford a slight improvement each year in my living situation, or so I thought. I remember being asked what I enjoy doing in my free time in between my family of five with obnoxious but adorable pets and working most of the day anyway. There wasn't much that I did enjoy. We'll discuss job health in a bit, but the truth was that I wasn't spending any time whatsoever warming up my tank or preparing my day for stressors that would make me feel exhausted when I came home. How you begin your day and the preparations you took for this day dictate how productive, successful, and proactive this day will be. But here's the great thing: you haven't gone to sleep yet, and there's still time to prepare for tomorrow, or to make an agreement with yourself to do something different. To set your alarm 30 minutes earlier so you can do a 15-minute exercise and spend a few minutes contemplating the day. Everything that unfolds begins with the time spent to map it all out. Failing to plan is the same as planning to fail. So choose to make time to plan to have more time. Truly try to ignore notifications and be present in what you're doing while you are doing it. I read once that it takes 18 minutes to become completely focused again after being interrupted by a message or conversation. In my case, one distraction will lead to multiple before I'm back on task because I was also diagnosed with ADHD. So, time management is even more essential for me than it may be for others. I'm prone to forget things constantly, even though I can manage a lot of random thoughts at the same time. So, if I just remember to write stuff down, whether it's on a to-do app or in Google Calendar or something, I can make sure that that task will be handled so I don't have to use up my mental space. Being present in what you're doing will allow you to perform faster and more proficiently than when you are trying to multitask. Lists are your friends. Your time is extremely precious. The number of breaths that you take is limited, and although that number seems like an astronomical number of breaths, the time you get to take them is largely up to you. Choose to take time for yourself. That can mean many different things and be accomplished in all of the ways that are unique to what enriches your life. But make sure you create time that allows you to enjoy what makes you happy. There is not more or less time, there is only how you use time. Sadly, many people are exhausted because they don't do very much. They sleep too much, they feel stressed in their day to day, when the solution is actually to start doing more. The more you do, the more energy you have, the more time you will create to do more things. It's a wonderful cycle. Always make time at the end of your day to unwind from the screen, the tech, the stress. When you turn your car off after a long drive, the engine is still hot. So is your brain after a long day of activity. Watching YouTube or TikTok or finishing a raid 5 minutes before going to sleep is going to really take away from the quality sleep you get. Know that the length of time you sleep has nothing to do with the quality of sleep you get. Make your time count while you sleep. You can find a night routine of exercise or push ups or stretching, reading, something that allows your brain to wind down while you allow your muscles to release, some tension from the buildup of the day. Spending a minimal amount of time to prepare and also decompress from your day can literally heal so many health related issues. Time should be your best friend, not your worst enemy. Physical health. Is it a wonder that grass grows from the sun? It shouldn't be. Life on Earth is derived from the sun being just perfectly distanced away. We as a society are terribly D3 deficient, and in our hermetically sealed environments, we're perfectly happy being that way. What humans used to have to deal with from the elements has been phased out with gas and electricity. Some days we don't even have to go outside if we don't want to. This was not an option back in the caveman days. We don't have to hunt or gather food, and preparation can be detrimentally short. Imagine a task that took your ancestors many hours that you can now complete in 3 minutes in a microwave that physically alters the chemistry of the food. So we don't have to go outside, we don't have to hunt or gather, and we don't have to process the food that we're about to eat. Convenience has literally weakened us to a point where we aren't sufficient to survive without technology. We have our cars parked in convenient locations to our house, if not attached to a room in our house. We park in convenient locations to our work and barely have to walk any distance to get to our jobs. We have ergonomic aids in our jobs to reduce physical impact and stress, but we are growing weaker and weaker by the generation. Is this because we are becoming more and more predominantly the top of the food chain? Gyms are often gimmicky and suited for a specific subset of people. I think gyms have their place and are great for people that want to find a support group of motivated individuals that are chasing physical health in that capacity. But the simple fact remains that it doesn't require a gym to exercise and stimulate your body. You can easily download an app on your phone or look up some calisthenics videos on YouTube and spend the same amount of time exercising as you would spend traveling to a local gym to exercise. I find too that once I'm at a gym, I'm compelled to exercise longer or use some extra services that I wouldn't always otherwise use. Although I am a fan of the infrared sauna, I will admit that. If you have a desk job or you find yourself sitting for long periods of time, odds are you aren't doing the stretches you should be doing to strengthen your core and your spine to be properly supported for that kind of wear and tear. Although it may seem like a detrimental way to, or may not seem like a detrimental way to live your life, being seated for the majority of your life takes a pretty drastic toll on the longevity of your life. We were meant to move around. It doesn't even take much time to incorporate some sort of exercises into your day that you will feel much better for doing it. Not only that, but your brain will be sharper as well. This is a whole body experience. It's not how long you can sustain yourself in that situation, but rather, what can you incorporate to improve your situation? Physical health isn't about running marathons and looking shredded. You really just need to have some regular routines to get the blood flowing and be challenging you yourself to continue improving on your journey. I really prefer calisthenics because you can do them with all kinds of household items to use as weights, and you can do them and elevations if you simply don't want to buy workout equipment. Start easy and constantly build up. Don't get off the path because you didn't exercise for one day. Just get back on and keep going. Make easy routines that you can build on. Look for your spouse or housemate or friend to do something with you. But the main point is don't give up. Just do something. Literally, just do something. Um, Nutrition. I'm really big on nutrition. There are so many disturbing things in the world these days. I truly believe that there's a billion wonderful things in the world too. I'm not a negative person or a doomsday theorist or anything like that. But of all the things that shocked me the most about the modern living is our food system. For one, farmers who are putting in great labor to produce real food only receive a tiny fraction of the total money involved. Once you buy that from the supermarket, it's not even financially worth it for them to do this tedious labor of love. There's a terrible amount of waste. Um, you can support your local farmers market, then you should really try to do that. Organic food may be out of some people's budget or access, but there are some really abrasive chemicals being sprayed on food by large scale monocroppers. And on top of that, preservatives are more abundant than ever. We are literally ingesting a slew of unnatural products that our bodies can't digest. We store these toxins inside of us, and the buildup is getting unreal. Cancer, autism, diabetes, all of these rates are just growing out of hand. The farmers aren't paid well and the consumer is gouged at the same time. Inflation on food products recently is absolutely absurd. My wife introduced me to the concept of voting with my dollar, and food was such an important factor in what I spent my money on. Why does it cost me less for a Coke than it does for bottled water? That's insane. Something is not right with food costs, access, and equality. Raising 3 kids with my wife and myself being, my wife and myself both being cancer survivors, and family history of diabetes and other medical issues, it was important for us to understand how to stop the genetic cycle and make sure our children had a better chance than we did. Breakfast is important for kids, but it's not important for everyone. I've had a few recent discussions about meal times, and the fact remains that there is no golden answer that fits all people. However, few people really expend the energy needed to actually require a breakfast. You are instinctually going to eat if you can, but this isn't actually because you're hungry. You will truly know when you are starving, but we've built up a schedule and a routine that doesn't give our bodies the necessary time to go through its full cycle of processes. Many government institutions have produced a lot of false propaganda to promote agriculture that isn't beneficial to humanity. And I'm pretty sure everybody knows this, and we just don't talk about it, and it's really crazy. But it really all boils down to choice. My family really can't eat at too many restaurants because there aren't options for us, but we also save a lot of money because of that. And it would be rather eye-opening if you were to learn what is really going on in our bodies, like how many of us are living with parasites and things that your doctor will never test for. I do love to see some of the healthy posts in the food channel. It bothers me to think of the culture we have built around food that has changed from a survival and a sustenance to an indulgence and an emotional reaction. I'm not here to preach, but I really think people need to get back to eating real food. The impacts on motivation, mood, brain function, sleep, energy, etc., all rely on proper nutrition. Eating within an 8-hour window every day allows you to burn ketones and store toxins, and your brain will be so much sharper. Eating the right foods will help you feel full longer, so you won't be snacking, which is an absolutely terrible habit. It's a difficult journey. I know because I have my own indulgences and cheats all the time, but it's really not sustainable for the body to eat according to any one diet or another. I think 3% of people that subscribe to a diet are successful. It comes down to making a choice to eat what's close to you and when it's right for you. Um, there are a million intricacies to nutrition, and I welcome you to discuss them with me whenever you like. You can shoot me a DM or ping me in chat. It's really crazy to me the things we are taught in school without learning much at all about what makes us truly well. We are told to eat our veggies, but the reality is that they will save our lives. Um, yeah, it's true. Social wellness. You could probably say that I'm the most out of touch in the social wellness category. I'm an introvert that really clings to a minimal number of deep friendships. The more inputs I have, the more manic and overloaded I become. It's funny to me being up on stage and talking in front of a number of people because I don't really care for the exposure. But I believe people need to overcome obstacles to realize that life is really what we make it out to be. We can let our brains tell us what to believe, or we can go through the experience and build our beliefs off of that. When I was young, I remember enjoying the anonymity of Yahoo Chat. And maybe it was the phase of my life that I was in, or maybe it was just the times. But socializing on the internet was a completely different beast back in the day, which is to say that it wasn't any sort of beast at all. It was obscure, and so were the people that used it. And fast forward today, where Snapchat and Instagram and TikTok are everyday apps. Teenage suicide rates are higher than ever, and having gone through all too many in my extended family, I need to say that this bullshit needs to stop. You are the company you keep. Toxicity on the internet is toxicity in your mind. If you're surrounded by people who aren't bettering your life, then I can assure you that you aren't bettering theirs either. Life isn't about seeking out the millionaires and stepping on the necks of others along the way, but it is about surrounding yourself with people that make you smile, make you feel warmth and compassion and purpose. If you spend hours on social media apps like Facebook or TikTok, what are you actually gaining from all of that time? You're consuming precious hours of your day to read opinions and gossip and watch comedy at another's expense, is seriously detracting from the standard of living and societal decency. Road rage is has gotten completely out of hand. There's no reason that people need to get senseless in a moving vehicle that can kill someone. Restaurant and retail service is appalling, and everyone acts like they're entitled and should be well rewarded for doing the bare minimum. What the actual F is going on, people? Um, I don't want to go on too much of a tirade in this department, but the foundation is simple and clear to me. You need to take care of yourself and do what you need to do to be in a good state of mind. And on top of that, you should follow the golden rule and treat others the way you want to be treated. If your friends don't treat you this way, then they aren't your friends. Leave them. Maybe I'm an asshole, but I really don't believe that to be the case. I'm truly compassionate and I want the most for everyone, but I can't do anything for them. I can support them, I can listen to them, but they have to put in the legwork. Um, don't carry the burden of others when your own burdens are heavy enough. Your social interactions and quality of experiences in life will be far greater when you are real about who is actually your friend and who is an energy vampire that needs to partake in self-love so they aren't dragging down others. We all need to be there for others at times when there's a burden on us, but it should always be worth it. I really think the world just needs a good listener at times, and you aren't here to solve other people's problems or to fix your boyfriend or girlfriend. There are a lot of problems out there in the world, and you have to choose what you can handle and what you can't, because outside sources will continue to add to your plate if you allow it. You have to realize you have that power. Job wellness. And this one really resonates strongly with me. I've had so many different jobs in different fields. I really could have done just about anything I wanted to in life, and I never really had a plan to do anything great. I just floated through life and came upon opportunities that worked out for me for a while. But the tragedy is that I really could have chosen a different trajectory and made my life a thousand times less stressful. Over the decades, I have had two or three jobs at a time and worked anywhere from 60 to 100 hours a week. I lived in one of the most expensive cities in the US for a long time. And when I moved back to Kentucky, one of the cheapest states in the US, my wages went down accordingly. This financial system we live in wasn't designed for everyone to become a millionaire and gain financial independence. It was literally created with equations to balance the value of currency with the cost of living instead of a zero-sum game. You know, I think people really forgot that they aren't stuck in the job that they currently have. Like, no one told you to stop looking to improve your situation just because your job is suitable now. Maybe you can't find the time to go back and get a specific degree, but I 100% guarantee you that the people that truly want to better their situation are out there right now finding ways to do it. Moving up in the world doesn't happen because you are lucky. It happens because you make it happen. So don't limit yourself to salary caps and established potentials when your potential is truly limitless. I remember a job I'd been working at for around 6 years. It was a restaurant where I had thoroughly been responsible for driving the revenue from 300,000 a year when I started as the head chef to 1.6 million a year, up to the point where um, my boss asked me one day why someone as smart as myself was working a job like that, and I was still making just above minimum wage um, at that point. And I never really envisioned myself with more. And every year since that year, I've actually achieved more. I don't have it all figured out, but I also never quit desiring more, and so I am willing to work harder to do more to achieve it. You aren't married to a job. There are a million opportunities out there for you to improve your situation. It really is up to you and how hard you want to work to achieve your goals. But the first step is as easy as having goals that you can achieve. And mental wellness. Um, your relationship with yourself is the most important one you have. You owe it to yourself to maintain mental wellness, and this is not to be seen as an act of selfishness. You really need to be aware and expressive of your needs. I'm honestly a shy person, and I really just want the best for people. I have a serious complex about letting people down, and my coping mechanisms for that are really unhealthy. So I've had to learn that my expectations are unrealistic and my shutdown response is more detrimental than I can afford for it to be. So how do I react to that? It requires me to be more open about situations and feelings than I have cared to be in the past. But if I can't talk about something, then I can't really expect anything to be done about it. I find that there are so many people who can relate to the issues that I am facing, and even though I may not be able to relate to you, I know there are a ton of people out there that can. My family has suffered from multiple suicides where to the point where we think that there may be an over awareness issue. Like maybe we've talked about it so much that some of these teens think that it's okay to choose that. But people need to have really honesty and openness in the house with the family and with your friends. If you can't express yourself and be yourself, then you're only damaging yourself. You might be surprised at how well your assertiveness is received. I find so many people that are struggling, but you can only help people when they tell you that they need it. Although not everyone has the same struggles in life, I hope that anyone listening to this realizes that there are people out there that will listen to you if you call out for help. This is a time when we really need to come together and support each other, as there is certainly a lot of uncertainty in the future. But again, we have to choose um, positivity and progress, and there. I feel really bad for the people that don't feel like there are options or don't feel like there are people out there that are willing to talk and to listen, because there are a lot of these people out there. I am really thankful for the support that I get from my family, although we have endured a lot over the past many years. One of the keys to a successful relationship, whether it's a business or marriage or whatever, is being able to talk about the expectations and future visions and limitations. If you don't feel heard or your needs are rejected, then surely that isn't a long lasting arrangement. Don't sacrifice yourself or your true potential to accommodate others in the long run. We all get along and succeed by supporting each other. But that starts with you being able to express what you need for you to keep your mental wellness. This is not even the tip of the iceberg, if you want to call it that. But I think my foremost message is making the choice to be yourself and have your needs met. Commit to bettering yourself for you and choose to make time, not let time make you. Um, i- if you will give me just a moment, I have to go wipe my daughter's butt right now, and then I'll be right back.
So that was hot sauce giving us heavy intake. I think I myself, I needed something like this. Hearing about, it's not every day that someone speak about mental health and physical health. So it's really good to have a reminder like this. So, man, again, this is great stuff from Hot Sauce. Hot Sauce always bringing the sauce. And today he spoke about something that not everybody will speak about every day. And this is something we all need to hear, whether it is as a reminder or as a way to keep us moving. I think this has been helpful for myself, to hear how mental health and physical health can really affect. So one thing in hearing Hot Sauce speaking is I come to realize that discipline, it is very, very important how you discipline yourself. And hearing Sauce saying all that, this is one thing I need to train myself every day being a youngin. Yeah, so
Right with it.
that's hello Hot Sauce.
Life life happens no matter what. Uh,
Now you gotta do what's
right,
most important, family,
yeah,
man.
absolutely, absolutely. Let me check in
I,
here on
I
the,
was just saying how really it is really good that you really talk about a topic like this, because this is really a topic for all of us, whether it is a topic for us to be reminded of or something that we need to hear. But mental health and physical health is something that we don't hear every day on this world, and when it does, I think it's something that we all need. So again, thank you for this topic. It's a
Hey
very wide
guys,
topic.
yes,
hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes,
yes,
we can
we
hear
can
you.
hear you.
Hey, John, I really want to get a hot sauce mark going, and I think this would be a good chance. And I want you to think about it because after all, the hot sauce channel and all, I mean, this channel, this event, and this mark belongs to you. But I think regarding physical and mental health, I think that's something that every dude can really do. We can do something like have them. I was just suggesting that in general, and maybe we can give a hot sauce mark for those who do a little improvement. I mean, we don't really have to give utility, or maybe a little bit in the later days, but I think it would be a good just to get people started. Maybe do an exercise every day, post it here somehow, or write a plan to start your next day. Take a photo of it, put it down, do it for 7 days a week or 5 days a week at least, and then you get a hot sauce mark. I think it would be, well, there's no really real need to complete it or anything, but I think if we can all do it together, well, maybe it would be something fun to get us all started on a journey to really try to improve ourselves. And well, I hope, well, yeah, it's just an idea. If you guys want, you can flesh it out to a little. I'll just keep it simple on my end. But I told Shadow-san that I really want to get a mark going. Usually, how we do marks around this community is such as the game night mark. It says you get a mark for winning an event, but if you do it consecutively, getting multiple gets you another roll. It's not a mark, sorry, it's a roll. Sorry, just a roll. We don't want to put too much incentive behind it to turn it into something else. We want to focus on just fun and games and really get people going on a, well, not to say a regimen, but a really healthy hobby, I guess. I think getting a role on that, I'll join in and I'll post it. They maybe a video of us doing some push-ups and sit-ups, or just writing down the plans for tomorrow and trying to execute it. This is both. Well, you don't have to do both. I think you can choose one first, like Hot Sauce says, we're starting small, starting little by
Yeah,
little, and anything can do, even for those
starting
who don't brush
small
their teeth.
is really the best, and I
About
remember certain times when, because I played a lot of sports and I was really big into
well, it would be great.
uh
I think it would be great to kick this off if you give us a little task
yeah, no,
to do,
I can
and then
certainly do that. I think the most important thing is to not feel overconfident when you haven't had a routine, because when you push
mhm.
yourself really hard in the beginning, and you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna do push-ups until I drop," or I'm gonna do, advanced yoga and try to, there's all these like
Well,
different core
I did one.
exercises that will make you, make your knees quiver and all of that.
I did
Don't
one
do that.
earlier. It's actually I started it from a dieting. My
Yeah.
brother taught me it. It's from an effective management book actually that talks about dieting and management. And it only requires you to do something really simple, like stretching. Stretching for I think it was around a minute. And that's what actually a lot of Japanese executives did in a book. they told these guys to just stretch. Take a whiz or during their toilet break, to take one of the toilet breaks and just stretch for a minute a day. Do that every day, or any kind of stretch. I mean, for a lot of gamers and mobile phone users, you can just lean your head back for like maybe 45 seconds or 60 seconds a day. Make it a habit, and then they statistically it proves that people who manage to just pick up this one small habit a day eventually become more successful. I know it's weird, but this is just discipline. And I think it really is great to start somewhere small and somewhere easy to just build up that routine. I think it's even in the motivational speech that the Marine officer said. It's just one
Yeah.
small accomplishment one day,
Mhm.
and it really it sounds silly or mundane or just like random to some people, but it actually really helps. And it would be great if we can just start something like this together. It doesn't cost that much time, really. It's just, and you got people doing with. I think it would be great. But yeah, it's up to Hot Sauce, and Shadow-san can help liaise, and we can try to turn this into something a little healthy, a little fun, and
Yeah,
we'll see
that's
where it
great.
takes us.
I find that once you build up routines and habits, you actually have so much more time than you thought that it was going to take up, before you did that. Like my eating habits, we cook everything, and so cooking is, it can be hours in a day, and so that can be really taxing and overwhelming to people. So it's really good to have, support. Like I know a lot of people really don't want to cook a lot, and I I don't know. I was raised a certain way, but I feel like to some people it's not even a choice, and really, um, if if you're not going to spend the hours a day cooking, you might as well be doing a few other things that don't consume that much time, because stretching really for sitting in a chair for however many hours really doesn't take much more than a couple minutes or a minute, and it's amazing at the differences in um, that you'll feel mentally and physically. Um, it's amazing how one aspect affects so many other aspects of your life, and how they all really work together to synergize. So, no, I think that would be great. I think it would be really nice to have a basic. I can write some things up. Um, a regiment, a boot camp, a hot sauce boot camp for people that want to join in. But honestly, like Frank said, doing any one thing, whether it's just planning out your day, um, or giving yourself an extra 15 minutes to get to work so that you're not stressed, or whatever it is, there's just so many little tiny things that you can do to drastically improve the quality of your life. So I'm more than happy to engage in an initiative for some hot sauce marks. Get that going here. Um, but yeah, I'm really passionate about all of these topics, honestly, because I feel the older I've gotten, and the more that I've learned from my children, most specifically, uh, is that there are so many more things that I need to learn to continue to improve my way of being, and the job is never really done. Um, I think a lot of people get complacent in their jobs, or they feel that their depression is acceptable because they've had it for so long, or it's there's this relationship class that I took that talked about how people do certain things, like they have children or they buy a house to save their relationship. Um, and that just ends up for even more stress and struggles. And people really put themselves through a lot of stress in today's, like, fast-paced environment. So it is important to really take care of yourself and to kind of take a step back and look at what it is. What are we actually putting into our bodies? What are we actually doing to get a good night's sleep? um, when you wake up, taking 5 minutes, and before going to sleep, taking 5 minutes, at a minimum, is really very little time compared to the entire rest of your day, and it will drastically change your life. Um, so I don't think people can really argue against that. Again, this is just my opinions, but you can engage in anything that makes you happy, that is therapeutic to your soul, that touches into your creative side. Um, my home workout app just buzzed me, said I haven't worked out recently enough, but I do other things now. But yeah, so I suffered a really bad knee injury, and I wasn't stretching and doing the proper exercises for that. So as I was trying to get back into running, I was uh, I was wearing my knee out again, and just doing a couple exercises a day drastically improved my situation, which was helpful because I wasn't going to be able to keep running if that wasn't improving. But yeah, it's not easy to, like, change all of the habits that we're in, but it's easy to change one little thing at a time, and then to build upon that one little thing. But you have to envision, you have to be able to envision what, that success looks like, or what that change looks like. You have to believe that the change is going to happen. Anytime you're negative about it, it's not going to end well. So, you know, don't allow negativity to dictate what actually is possible. You really truly need to believe that you are capable of whatever it is that you are seeking, and envision that, and make it, become a reality. So, um, you know, that's all I have to say about that. If you want to, um, if you find yourself, at night, or whenever, saying, like, regretting something because you didn't plan or prepare for that, or um, that you wish you had accounted for something, or didn't have enough time, or this or that, like, that could have been avoided, and that's a choice that we all make. And it took me a really, really long time to understand, my time management choices, and how they affected my ability to maintain, my nutrition, and my physical wellness. Um, Give me just a second. My dog is outside. Uh, yeah. So that's that's what
Hotsauce,
happens
you
when
you are one
when
busy
the
man.
4-year-old. Yeah. Um, yeah, the 4-year-old, she's almost 5, but man, she is nonstop. I tell you what, um, I am so thankful that she is growing up because she has been the most time-consuming child that I could ever imagine. She's wonderful. She's a beautiful human being, but yeah, and that's one of the things that really was an issue in my life was that I wasn't setting time boundaries on what I could give to my family and what I needed for myself and what I had for work. And I got caught up in this belief that I had to make more money to be able to afford more vacations or to do this or that. And the reality is that I was gone from the house so much that anytime that we had vacations um, or time away or did anything, it was just trying to repair the damage done from the loneliness and the emptiness that this grind of work has caused. A lot of people work a lot of hours and and they don't take time for themselves, and they're not really in it. They're just they're just floating, through life. They're just existing and doing this grind, that this Groundhog's Day that they've done day in and day out for so many years, and in one changing capacity or another. And it's like there's this whole breed of zombies out there that just don't even know that they're zombies. And I feel much more enriched and fulfilled in my life when I am not just existing, and when I am, making choices to take care of myself, and that gives me the ability to be even more present for my family when I am doing things with them. So
Beautiful, Hassas. So, Hassas, hello.
yes,
So,
yes.
you spoke a lot about health and discipline, and I was wondering, in today's world, we live in a world that is full of distraction, right? And with everything that you've said, is I've been one thing I've noticed is I want to ask, what is your drive that kept working out, balancing your time, everything that you're doing, keeping it consistent?
Um, really the determination that there is so much more for me out there. And we live in this society where people think that the children have become spoiled brats and have lost all of their values, and there's a bunch of snowflakes and this and that. But the reality is that the parents have lost their values and lost their willpower, and there's a lot of depressed people out there, and so people are withdrawing, and I really want my kids to affect the people around them with positivity, and to support others to succeed. I think that there's a lot of selfish people that are greedy, that try to, step on other people's necks to get where they're going. And the reality is, just like in my not so good guild podcast last week. I'm sorry, I was really sick for that, but
Don't worry, I wasn't here.
yeah, no doubt.
I missed out.
I told people I would redo that one because like I couldn't even read from my script and whatnot. I was like half delirious, and I'm like having to take a drink every 2 seconds because my throat was so parched. Um,
I guess that's why you picked the topic to the health today.
yeah, yeah, it is, man. I mean, it's funny, like going through cleanses and doing this and that. Like I've done a whole 30, probably like 7 times over the last 9 years or something like that. Just when I want to eat better. But like you never stick with diets or anything like that. Being committed um, is really a choice because you want to be that person. And I can't teach my kids anything if I'm not um, projecting, like if I'm not practicing what I preach as well. Like being a role model is so much more than just being able to make a statement about something that because people learn by living experiences. They don't learn because you told it to them or they read it in a book. And so the only way that they're going to see these examples is by being that kind of role model. And I feel like there's a lot of negativity. Like there's a lot of projected. There's a lot of people that say, "Oh, this is the worst um, times that we've lived in, and everybody's out there for their own selfish reasons," and that's just not true. There's so many good people out there, and there's so many beautiful things going on all the time. Um, and and so, our mind is really powerful and it chooses what we want to believe. It chooses whether we are going to succeed or fail at adding a new routine. Um, your mind has the power to really dictate so much. And so when there is so much negative media and negative social media, it's easy for people to have negative thoughts and to think that this is what is really going on, but it's not. And I think deep down we all know that. So it's really important that you use your mind to its ability to shape the future and the things that you want, because it really is such a powerful tool. um, you know it's crazy that um mental health is such the issue that it is, because there's so many people that suffer from the same traumas and the same feelings and emotions, but nobody is willing to talk about it. And um why is that? Are we programmed to not talk about these things? Why are we ashamed to express um, our feelings and our needs and whatnot? What is that? Anybody anybody got an answer for that?
I think it's just life, brother.
Yeah.
As one of my uncle always used to say, this is one of his favorite quote. Anything that happen or anything does, he always says this. It is what it is.
Right? It really is. I mean, you can't live, in the past because we're not in the past, like it happens, let's move on. Um, like I don't know if people are softer these days or what. Um, but like I really feel like people need to be able to talk. There's somebody out there that you can talk to. We have, uh, I don't know. I feel like our minds are creating the prisons that we live in, when we feel like we can't talk to other people, because surely, you can always speak your honest truth. Um, but we I live in the South, and this is the Southern hospitality, and where people would rather tell you something nice than tell you something that's honest. and I always had a problem with that. Where I was born and raised, that wasn't um, the way that you got around. And so I was like, this isn't really what I feel like people should be building up, is because when we're nice and we're not honest, because we don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, our lying to them is just making it, acceptable for people to lie to us, in the same right. So we've created a lot of like image problems, especially through the media, and it's really sad, the way that we have like built um, a box or confined a lot of these issues. It's crazy.
I mean, I will not disagree with you. I've always been taught since young kid that we are what you surround yourself with, right? So, and being in a world that we each one of us individually, it's a word that's filled up with so much negativity around. So, just being able to just have a positivity around, to keep us going. And I think that's a beautiful part. Just for example, even you coming up on this Dudecast and sharing us about something that's not being spoken in on a daily. So these are very important little small details that really keeps people just going. Because we're surrounded by negativity every day. So just like you said, there's even people that come to you and be bad at you. So I think, man, it's crazy that you come up and talk and give us this insider word, because this small positivity creates a huge impact.
Yeah, you gotta stay positive for the kids, man. We One of my coworkers, we were industrial electricians, and we're working around a bunch of you know rednecks, for lack of a better term. And he always used to get on and sing that Michael Jackson, "We are the children of the future." And it was always funny to see all their reactions, but I would always sing that back with him, because it was just good times. But really, man, the children are the future, and they soak up all the stuff. They see it when you are on your phone at dinner time,
That's facts.
and whatnot. And for all the people that have little kids, like, I don't know if you've seen the statistics of kids that are losing social skills. We are losing social skills in society. The youth are more deficient than we were back in the day. Like, we got to stop this nonsense. Like, we got to um, like, start being proactive parents, and start giving a damn. What's crazy? I go to like parent teacher conferences, and when I was a kid, there would be like, it would like everyone, all the families were there, except maybe like the bad kid, like maybe
Eh,
his family wasn't there because they were like, waiting until everybody left so that they wouldn't be seen or something. But they still showed up too. But now it's like 3 or 4 families that are there out of the 20 or whatever kids, and that's just sad. That's like 3 or 4 families where the parents, give a damn enough to talk to their teacher and find out, like, what's going on with their education. Like, we are just not putting effort into the things that matter, and it's because we're not having our own needs met. Like, we don't even feel like we're being appreciated. And like, I don't know who needs approval from whom. But people, we need to start appreciating ourselves, like, for real. um you got to believe that you can accomplish whatever you want to, and we all get stuck in ruts. And um, man, when I was 25, you couldn't knock me down. I could do whatever. And now that I'm not 25 anymore, I'm kind of takes me a minute to get out of bed and all that, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I had I wish I had used my younger years more wisely. Um, and I love the life that I've had. Like um I wouldn't
Hey,
change it for anything.
don't tell me that you're speaking to a lot of youngin here.
Right. Oh, I know, man. That's what I'm saying. It's like, now is the time to make your life what you want it to be. And that doesn't matter what age you are, or what your day to day is. Now is a day, today is a day, tomorrow is a day that you can make your life whatever you want it to be. And that really just takes you having a dream and a vision, and saying that's what I'm going to achieve, and then you will find the way. Your brain is that powerful. Um, so there's no reason to ever see the limitations, because those are all put on yourself. Just like talking and getting help. You're putting limitations on the help that you can receive when um, when you don't talk to people, because you make assumptions that people won't understand, or you should be ashamed. But really, we're all in this boat together. This is it's crazy that people don't see, that it really takes everybody to get along, to make this world a better place. Like, one person isn't going to change the world. But
It's a
if you can take
process.
yeah, but if you can take care of yourself, if you can get your needs met, then that's one person less that needs being taken care of. And that's good enough. That's really good enough.
Facts. Facts. So I got one last question before we end the night. Hussas.
Yeah.
Yeah, every Monday you dropping hot sauce. For real. Yeah, yo, I'm not gonna lie, I had a good night. I was drinking some nice wine with Lord Keeper. So I'm feeling a little lightheaded. We had some nice hot sauce too. So dropping his knowledge is nice. But I wanna ask one last question. What would you say right now to anybody out there, or anybody listening to this right now, dealing with mental health and all the current situation going around the world, in the market and everywhere? What would be your word to anybody dealing with mental health or anything?
I
What
would
would you
say that the pain of accountability, the pain of admitting to your failures or your flaws, the pain of being honest and vulnerable to somebody is is so much more minuscule compared to the pain of your long-term depression, to holding it in. Like, people may not understand, and they may not be able to relate um, to your situation. My wife is was put into a very interesting situation that she feels that um, I can't really equate to understanding that, and it affected me as well. So, you're not always going to have somebody that knows your specific situation, or that can feel that pain. But um, you really are harming yourself by not talking about it, and by not, letting go of it. We all have different ways of dealing with things. I'm not telling you that that telling a friend or exposing something is going to solve all the problems, but you have to be able to let stuff out, and to be able to find somebody to share something with. Like we all need support in life, and I guarantee there's somebody out there that you can talk to. Maybe it's a dog or a cat, um, but um, don't keep it in. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to go through the pain by yourself because it's not really manageable that way. There's a lot of people with a lot of financial problems, and that often leads to bad decisions, to crimes, to um, you know, money is the number one reason for divorce. Um, so, and certain or uncertain economic times, it can be really tough, but it's not talking about it that makes things worse. It's not talking about it, not communicating, that takes you much further down the path of destruction than you needed to go. So being open and having that support group, whether it's your spouse or friends or your parents or whomever, um, don't run away from that. Don't turn your back on that because it's a powerful tool.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hot sauce. Dropping
Oh.
knowledge, dropping bars. Thank you so much, Hot sauce. I think even I myself needed to hear that. I think mental health is every dude part of life since we're born. So thank you, bro.
Yeah,
This
absolutely.
was
Absolutely.
Yeah, if
Thanks for
anybody
having me.
got a question, hit up the general chat. If you got a question for Hot Sauce, this is your moment. If you don't have a question, well, just drop Hot Sauce on the comment right now. Man, Hot Sauce,
Alright.
again for real talk. Thank you again. I'm not gonna lie, but this mental health issue is really something that not everybody dare to talk about in our daily life. And and again, like I said, surrounded by negativity in the world and so much right now. So there's these small little things. It may not look like it matters, but these are the things that have the biggest impact in our life. So I thank you again for your time and your energy.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's good to really kind of like look in to myself and see myself in all of this, because it's everybody. And I just think everybody is entitled to talk um, about life and should talk about life, like even if it's just for a minute, do some stretches and talk to yourself about it. But thanks for having me. I will be back soon. I will find a time to re-air the guilds and expound a little bit more on what I wasn't able to talk about from that sickly podcast that I did the other day. So thanks, guys. I'll catch you later.